Hi and welcome. We are the Neurodiverse family from the UK. There's Ash, I'm Martin, our oldest son who likes to be called Monkey, our middle son Woggy Bear, and our young terror Tumbleboy, followed by our angel in the sky Barney Bear who we love and miss every day, our pet dog Mason, and our pet pony Mika. Good morning and welcome from New York City. If you've not joined me on my pre-travel vlog and my travel day vlog, then I'd like to give you a warm welcome. And if you have joined me on my previous videos, welcome back. I just feel so excited and hyperactive that I can't wait to get around New York. It's maybe a bit cold because it is late January, but I couldn't care. I just want to have a weekend of fun. So today I'm going to be using the Go City Pass that Ash purchased for me. So I'm hoping to get use as many attractions as possible today and see what they have to offer. So I'm not ready to do Top of the Rock yet because I have done this on previous trips to New York. I've never done the Empire State Building, so I have made a reservation for 12 o'clock today. Well, after I've left the Empire State Building, I'm hoping to go down to the Interpret Air and Sea Museum, which is down by the Hudson River and the piers. I love aviation, and for starters, they have a number of aircraft on display. They have details of a space shuttle, and on the display, they should have an ex British Airways Concorde. When Concorde was retired by British Airways, the aircraft that they had were sent to various places around the world, and they have one down here at the Hudson in this air museum, and you can just see it parked on the side, and you can see the Hudson River right in the background. So I intend going down there and taking a look. Now, across the street across the street you can probably see a theatre, which is a Broadway version of We're Six. It's a great show, I'm told. I've never actually watched the show. I did actually become introduced to the music from Six the Musical when the London cast appeared on the BBC during COVID and Sheridan Smith was presenting a show. On there we had Six the Musical with the theme song Six, and it was absolutely fantastic. Ex-Wives is another good song from Six the Musical. I've not watched the show, but I know the songs, and I've got them on my phone to listen to them because I think they're absolutely great. I love musical theatre, and I've been to see a few different shows, and there's some I'd love to see. So the most recent one that I watched was the Book of Mormon back in Manchester a couple of years ago. I've seen Lion King, Phantom of the Opera, Love Never Dies, Joseph multiple times, Wicked, and I'm hoping to maybe grab a show this weekend. Maybe Book of Mormon. The Book of Mormon has to be the most funniest show I've seen in theatre. Literally, it's camp, it's hilarious, it's flamboyant, and it is belly laughing for the entire performance. The songs are great, the cast is great, and it just is a fantastic production created by the creators of South Park. Well, I think anyone, if they were feeling a bit down, send them into the theatre where they can watch the Book of Mormon, and they'd come out 90 minutes or 2 hours later and they'd feel a lot better for it. The two main characters in the Book of Mormon are Elder Cunningham and Elder Price. Elder Price, when it first came to Broadway, was played by the amazing, magnificent Andrew Reynolds, and the part of Elder Cunningham was played by no other than Josh Gad. Josh Gad is a very funny guy. I just think he's got loads of funny bones in his body, and he just plays the part so well. I've only heard it on the cast recording because I never got to see him on Broadway, but I suspect he would have been absolutely amazing based on what I listened to from the cast recording. Josh Gad, you'll probably be familiar with, is also the voice of Olaf in Disney's Frozen movies and the spin-off shows they have had from it as well. Josh does do the voice of Olaf, and he does that amazing. And it's just like what he done for Elder Cunningham. And in the show, there's up and down moments where 1 minute you're laughing at him and the next minute you're feeling sorry for him, and Josh Gad would have played that part extremely well. I hope we see it as someone good at playing Elder Cunningham. Sorry, there's me forgetting to say that we're getting to Times Square. I was so focused about the Book of Mormon, Josh Gad, and Disney's Frozen that I forgot all about saying, well, actually, that's us now approaching Times Square. As you can see, we've got TKTS right across from us. They are a Broadway company who offer theatre tickets, and often there's anything between 10 and 60% discount against the price on the door. There are screens showing you the current ticket price that they have various different shows on for today and tomorrow with the discounts they've got between 10 and 60%. So be sure to check that out, and I'll have a look online, and I'll also look at the box office price as well directly and see who's got the best deal and also who's got access to the best seats, because sometimes different agents have different seats available in different pricing. So I'll check that out. I'm going to try and see if I can sneak a quick picture or even a video of this gorilla here over just to the right of me. If he catches me take a picture, he's going to come over and ask me for money, so I'm trying to do it discreetly and hope that he doesn't see what I'm doing. Yeah, I think I got away with that there. Well, the one show I wish they did have on Broadway and they don't, and that's Andrew Lloyd Webber's Love Never Die. It's a sequel to Phantom of the Opera, and I think it's not as dark as Phantom, and you see the Phantom in a much nicer light, and then he realises he's got a son, Gustav, and it's a fantastic show. What they did in London was great, but Andrew Lloyd Webber at the time was seriously unwell, so he wasn't as involved as he normally would be. Therefore, when it came to Melbourne, he got involved, and so did the Australians, and together they reworked it and they changed some of the scenes, some of the songs and some of the lyrics, and it made the show go from being great to spectacular. I think it's one of them, you either love it or you hate it, and I absolutely love Love Never Dies. I think it's fantastic. London one not so bad, but the Australian one's fantastic, and I think that they had Ben Lewis as the Phantom, and he was just great. I think he really portrayed it very well. One of my favourite Phantoms has to be Ramin Karimloo, and I think when it comes to Love Never Dies, Ben Lewis can play it better than Ramin. The vocals come over differently and the acting comes over differently, and I think he's just absolutely spectacular. Well, I'm going to go over to one of the food carts and grab a bite to eat shortly. You get hot dogs, corn dogs, burgers, you name it. You can get yourself food. Now, they have loads of these around Times Square and Rockefeller Plaza. They all differ in price, so be sure to check out the price before you buy something else, otherwise you might be surprised. These pericycles can be expensive. The cheapest I've ever seen is $2 a minute, and I've seen anything up to $12 or $15 a minute, so always check the price before riding them. Well, let's take a look inside this gift shop. Well, I'm only here for the weekend, so the idea is in between going to attractions, I'm going to look around places, look for souvenirs so I've taken back for people at home. So in here anyway, we can see they've got a range of mugs and different New York souvenirs. Then we've got Donald Trump, Barack Obama, George Washington, and these are very popular. They've sold them in the States for years, very popular little figurines. Some of them, the heads move, and many people collect each president there's been, so they have a hall of presidents at home. You got some pictures here, then some dog signs, and then we've got the license plates with names. We then got Statue of Liberty figurines, we've got flip-flops, and then we're coming to a range of clothing and pyjamas. At the same time, you can hear the young man, there's no need to feel down. So who's ready to do the YMCA in the middle of a New York gift shop? You ready? Let's go and take a look at M&M's World, New York. M&M's here in Times Square is set over 3 floors. Initially, when you get in, you've got a smaller area downstairs, and then you go upstairs to the next 2 floors. When you're upstairs on the middle floor, they do also have some restrooms, or in the UK we call it toilets, and it's a good place where you can actually go and get yourself a toilet without having to buy anything, because around Times Square, coming by a toilet or a restroom is very difficult. The only 2 places that I've seen that I've been able to use without any difficulty is M&M's World and Krispy Kreme. Even if you go to McDonald's, they've all got a code that you must be buying something in the first place to get the code on your receipt. So what's your favourite M&M's colour? Are you orange, blue, green, brown, red, or yellow? What's your favourite colour? Well, I'll start it off. Mine is M&M's orange. Orange all the way for me. It's a great bright colour and I absolutely love it. You can get your favourite M&M colour in a hoodie, and if I'm correct, these are $44.99. So quite on par with other M&M shops around the world, because I've been to the one in Orlando a number of times, which has moved. It did used to be in the Florida Mall, and it is now at Disney Springs. So we're on the middle floor. Let's now go up to the top floor. Well, we've got the orange and the yellow light jumpers and hoodies. Now, I said downstairs they were $44.99. That's a children's size. The adult one is $49.99. You could have something that's much, much, much bigger, and it costs you $5 more. I think that The adult prices are reasonable. The children's prices, I think, are extortionate, and they should be brought down by about $10. But that's my opinion. What do you think? Do you think it should be more than $5 between maybe a 5 or 6 year old jumper, or well, hoodie, to someone who's taking a 2XL hoodie? Because to me, that seems like just unfair that it's only $5 difference. I think the adult price is right, but they should bring down the kids' price. Anyway, enough about me. Anyway, as you can see, there's I Love New York gifts where we were before, a bit earlier before we went to Krispy Kreme. So we've got some blankets here, and often you can get these on offer if you spend so much in store. And then we have the M&M's World Pride collection. That top does look really cool with that big band. I'm a fan of bright colours. I love orange, yellow, especially, and I just think they look great on tops. Now look how small these are. Maybe what, for a 6 months old or a 9 months old? They really are small. Apologies with sizes if that's not correct. I'm not great at judging sizes. I often get Logie Bear and Tombos clothes muddled up. If you love Krispy Kreme donuts and you love hot donuts, be sure to check this place out at Times Square. I did say I was going for some pizza, and I will get pizza on the way to the Empire State Building, but this is like holy ground. I may not have great smell, but this place oozes with great smell. I can't miss it. It's just like, come and get some smell. Well, for me, jam donut, the chocolate donut, and some of these small ones look great. And like everywhere, you always find a gift shop. So Krispy Kreme sell a range of their own merchandise. So these hoodies here are $49.99, which is on par with other places around in New York. You've got a range of t-shirts, hoodies, baseball caps, cups. There's a whole host of merchandise that you can buy, and for ladies there's bags as well. It's good for the environment, it's good for your wallet, and it's good for keeping drinks hot. These metal tumblers here will keep your drinks hot generally for about 4 to 6 hours, and they're selling them at $24.95, which is fairly reasonable. They're not the largest ones, but they will keep your drinks hot. Take it down to your local Starbucks, they'll give you a drink for maybe $1 or $2 less, and you have a drink that stays hot for long. It's not going to go cold immediately. And out here in New York, it is chilly at present. It is only 1 degree. So if you have a metal cup, it will stay a lot hotter, and that's what I tend to use myself. Looking at that, doesn't it just make your mouth water, wanting more donuts? Or it certainly does for mine. They look absolutely tasty. I really look forward to getting one of these. Now hopefully they'll have some warm donuts and not some cold ones, because when they're warm they're soft, they're fluffy, and they're just, the taste in your mouth is just amazing. Whatever flavour you go for, you get the absolute flavour of it. It's just soft and it's just brilliant. So I'll get a drink and get some donuts. A shame it's not self-serve from this rack, because I'd get quite a few over that rack, because they look all just so good. Your turn. Be sure to tell me in the comments what donut would you pick out of these. I bet in the summer it gets absolutely hot in there. In the winter it keeps them nice and warm because it's really chilly today. Well, I've got an idea what kind of gifts they have around here in Times Square after being around a few shops. It's time for pizza and then the Empire State Building. I'm having this pizza and look who arrived. And here we are, the Empire State Building. Stay tuned and we'll go and check this building out. As I said earlier, I've not done the Empire State Building before, so it's time to see what it's like. It's rated very well on TripAdvisor. There's plenty of adverts around New York saying that. And here's another one here. Best of the best 2022 to 2023. Reservation at 12 o'clock?
They do too. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you. Well, let's nip upstairs and we'll get into the main attraction. I think we've got to go through security first like we do in other buildings. I'm recording this through a telescope, binocular kind of thing, so I hope it works out for you. These large screens, which are going floor to ceiling, absolutely look magnificent. They show on different parts of the building stage many years ago when they did construct the Empire State Building, and they look very realistic. Full-size cast iron statues. Well, I'm surprised at how good the quality of these screens are. It does look like someone's just right in front of you. Admittedly, Central Park doesn't look as great in quality, but you have to bear in mind that you are meant to be several floors up from the ground. The Empire State Building reminds me a bit like a museum as well, because as much as you're going to see the attraction and we're going to see the views from the floors above, you also go through like a bit of a museum showing you all different history about the building. So it's like two attractions in one. All these screens are producing various different movies that have been shot here at the Empire State Building. Some you may recognise and some you may not. If you do, please leave a comment. And like every attraction, you always find signs advertising a gift shop. And as we go through this walkway, it shows various different pictures of famous people and celebrities who have had their picture at the top of the Empire State Building. I don't think if I have my picture took that I'll be featured on one of these posters. I'm not famous enough. But even down here we've got like the Simpsons, and we did have the Minions back there as well. And there's a King Kong hand that we still got to see. Something I find amazing in this building, you've got a perfect example of it here, is architecture. Look at it. It looks absolutely amazing. Look at all these marble tiles. They're everywhere. I wouldn't even like to think what it's cost to put this building together. All the structure inside is probably more expensive than what the construction on the exterior was. But we're now heading down to get into the lift. It'll take us up to whichever floor it is next. I haven't done this lift before, but if it is like top of the rock, they have a hologram at the top and it plays a video as you go up and down. But let's see as we step inside.
World's most famous building, and you get to see it built. Keep your arms and legs inside and keep your eyes open. See those hot ribbons fly through the air? Nice catch, Lou! Get those planks out of the way, huh? Oh, hey, watch it! We're coming up here!
Oh, my ear.
Hey, Bucky, you gonna ride that thing all day? Do something useful, will ya? All right, we're coming up to the 80th floor. You're headed to the top of the Empire State Building, right here in the heart of New York City.
Well, that video was interesting to the 80th floor, and let's see what the video is like when we nip back down. So here we are at the first observation deck here on the 80th floor of the Empire State Building. Let's take a closer look. Well, these views look magnificent, don't you think? Look at all these buildings. It really shows you how many high rises there are actually in New York. You don't see it until you're at these buildings, how many there is. Looking from here, you can really appreciate when they say that they've ran out of space in New York to build, and that's why they're having to build all these high rises, because literally there's no land available with the look of it. Everywhere is filled in with another building, another skyscraper. But the views from here look absolutely great, don't you think? The views from here are really great, and it shows you just how small people look, even when I zoom in on the camera. So if I zoom completely out, they would look like little dots at very best. You can see that as we look further away. As I zoom out, look how small even the cars are looking at. They're more becoming like dots. So it really does show you how high you are. And when you see in the streets down there how small people look, it's a fantastic view. Have you done the Empire State Building? Have you enjoyed these views? Be sure to tell me in the comments. The admission ticket I've got with the Go City Pass, I'm able to explore the 80th floor, which is the floor I'm on now. I can go up to the 86th floor, and then I can go up to the 102nd floor, which is outdoor. I suspect up there it will be quite chilly. It was 1 degree centigrade on the ground, and when we go to the top of this building, it's likely to be a couple of degrees below zero anyway. Before I nip upstairs, I think I'll try and see if I can spot Lady Liberty. So, if I'm correct with geography, she should be to my left. So let's go and see if we can spot her. How massive is that crane? There she is, Lady Liberty.
Next elevator, next stop 80.
Welcome to the 86th floor observation deck.
Well, let's step outside, and as I'm looking at this part here, this does remind me of Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. I expect it to be chilly outside. Yes, it's chilly a bit. However, above me, there are some heaters, which is shielding me from some of the cold. But once I get closer to the edge, I'm sure I'm going to feel it much, much colder. Well, let's make our way over to the edge and we can take a look of the views from out here on the 86th floor. Sadly, the sky today isn't fantastic, but let's get this camera through the edge anyway, and I'll keep tight hold of it so don't drop it on anyone. 86 floors below. But we'll take a look, and we can just see in the distance over there, there's Lady Liberty. And you really get a feel of how built up New York is when you're taking a look from this kind of view at this height, because you're looking down on a lot of things. Well, we're standing here on the 86th floor, which equates to 1,050 feet above sea level. Well, the views are absolutely stunning. It's just a shame that it's quite cloudy today and it's not blue skies, because it would have made a much better video and some pictures. But anyway, let's go on tour on.
Gracias. Dankeschön. Merci. 감사합니다. Thank you.
Well, I really enjoyed the Empire State Building. It's the first time I've done it. I've been to New York many times and I've never went to the Empire State Building. Every time I've tried, they've never had any reservations, so it's always been catered to what they have had a reservation. And most of the time, I've been over Times Square and I've ended up just going up Rockefeller Building to the top of the rock. Well, let's make our way to the Air and Temperature Museum now. Can you remember what movie this building was featured in? It was in the 80s, I believe. It was a famous movie. There was a franchise of them, and you've seen people come out the door and run down the stair. But what was the movie? Tell me in the comments if you remember. I checked the website and the mobile app. Both said it was open till 4 p.m. And I get down there at 2:30 and the attraction is already closed. So I walked down there to then walk on my way back up. So if anything, I've done about five and a bit mile of walking. I didn't need to, but it's going to keep me fit along the way regardless. So here we are at Rockefeller Plaza. So let's go to FAO Schwarz. The first time I visited New York was 10 years ago, and back then Toys R Us was still open and they had a massive, massive shop at Times Square. But obviously when Toys R Us went out of business and it went bankrupt around the world, that meant that store closed. So the only main toy shop around Times Square, Rockefeller Plaza and stuff is FAO Schwarz, which is a big famous American toy brand. They offer a whole range of toys, cuddlies. It's one of these traditional shops. Well, here's their mascot. Normally they have someone at the door as a mascot, but there was no one there today. But these, it's not got a price on them, but I anticipate they're probably about $49.99, give or take. But this is your original toy shop in America where they have demonstrations going on and things. Actually, there's someone as a mascot further down there. We must have missed them. Now look at these steps. My boys would absolutely love going up these steps. The sensory feel that you want to get from these lights, they would just absolutely love it and get excited. I think the problem is that Augie would go on the steps and then he'd stop halfway up and not want to move because he'd just start jumping around and flapping because he would he would just think it's absolutely brilliant because he loves lights. He gets so much from them. And there's someone to the right there that does demonstrations. And as you can see up here, we've now got the Build-A-Bear workshop. So you can get your bear and you can get clothing for it and you can dress it however you want. Don't get me wrong, it probably costs a small fortune by the time you pay for the bear and all the different clothing because it does get quite pricey. But it does mean that your child can design a bear how they want it, and then they get the pleasure of taking it home and having a lifetime of memories with the bear in the future. Logie Bear loves these kind of things, these little taggies, likes taking them around and flapping. So I've just found something for Logie first before the other two, and it's not often you're able to do that, so I'm guaranteeing to get one of these here for Logie, and I think I might get one for Barney Bear and take it to his grave when we're back, because I don't want to forget about missing him out. He might not be with us, but it doesn't stop me getting him a gift and then we take it to his grave. So that's what I'm thinking about doing, getting one for Logie and getting one for Barney Bear. I'm really glad I found these, I really am. It means I can get some for Logie that just suits him and what he really likes, and he'll get a lot from it, and get one for Barney Bear as well, and we can take it to his grave once I'm back and give him one, because he shouldn't be missed out of any gifts. As you can see, we're coming into the toy section now, and you've got the little Playmobil kind of ideas with the little airport sets, and there's a whole host of stuff you can have. There's stuff from all ages, right through from baby right through to teenager, and again there's someone else doing demonstrations. And here we come into more bears. There's one thing this store is full of is bear. You cannot deny that there's a bear every time you turn the corner. But I have to say, it is a very, very, very nice toy shop. It really is. It feels more authentic and not just like you go in there and there's a whole host of shelves that's got everything on it. This really, I think the way it's been designed, the interior is amazing. It really is. Now upstairs there's also the piano that they used to be in Toys R Us, I think it was. It came to FAO Schwarz when they closed down, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, by all means. But this is the piano that was featured in the movie Big with Tom Hanks when he was playing the piano in that movie. So I'll take you down there in a minute and I'll show you. And we'll try and cut through something here because there's so many people around it. It's kind of not easy to get around this toy shop without obstacles in your way constantly. So one thing to bear in mind, that if you are neurodiverse and you struggle with having a lot of people around you, or you get a bit claustrophobic, it is worth just making sure you keep an eye. Now look at this lion, that's really, did you see it open its mouth and it's nodding its head? At first I thought it was me, and then when I looked back I did see it was correct. But as you can see, this toy shop really, really, really is magnificent. And we're now coming into more bears. Don't you just come into many, many, many bears in this shop, but I'm sure there's a load of different brands of bears. My boys, they don't go for a particular brand of bear, they just like the look of something and that's it. So I think this is Whole Cat, is it? Of London. I've not heard of that brand myself. And let's see what else we've got down here. So as we continue walking through, there's someone doing another demonstration like I was on about before. Now we're coming into the Star Wars section, and that is followed by, there's a piano that I talked about just a few moments ago that was featured in the film Big with Tom Hanks. Have you ever been to FAO Schwarz and played a tune on this piano? Problem is, every time I go to do it, there's always busy and there's always people around, and I don't want to film children, so I'll step out the way in the meantime, and with any luck, when I pop back, I'll be able to have a go of it. And there's another demonstration. So let's pop back down the stair. I bet when they toned the lights down a little bit for like autism hour, the lights on the stair staying out as they are, it would look absolutely amazing whether you're going up or down. As we come down to the ground floor, you can see that we're now coming into more games, more demonstrations. This toy shop is epic. It really is. It's a childhood dream. I bet if you brought your children here, they could probably spend a few hours just going around everything, watching it, watching the demonstrations, testing it himself. And there's one of the mascots I talked about before. They normally have him at the door, but he's talking obviously to a customer. And here we are coming into these little play sets and things. Now I remember these well. These used to be made by Day Run Worldwide in America. I used to deal with that company a number of years ago. They made the fire department, the police department, and they also make the airline ones. So they were making the British Airways and the American Airlines and the Southwest, and we were one of the major importers in the UK back then of day run products. So I remember getting them, and back then they used to cost around £5 to import, and they were there at $35. That is just serious inflation. And when I looked at Manchester Airport, they were £25 just for a British Airways one, and they really are expensive. Well, there's Jellycat of London, and look at these figurines. They look absolutely amazing. I bet they are so expensive, literally. I couldn't get the price on the camera there, sorry, but they do look like they're not a cheap thing anyway. And as you can see down here, we keep going and there's more to come. This toy shop is absolutely massive, and we're coming into the section where your kids come in calm. If they have a bag of sweets from here, they're going to be through the roof, hyperactive. I know that, especially if Logie Bear and Tombo, they have sweets, certain ones especially, and they go from being calm to they are bouncing off the ceiling. They get really high, and they reach a point where it takes a while before they calm down, and it involves a lot of jumping, a lot of spinning, together with music, a bit of trampoline bouncing. And we're going to nip out here and go into Rockefeller Plaza. Well, I saw an advert earlier for this place here, Hero, Winter of the Northern Lights, and it's in Rockefeller Plaza. It's not included in my Goal City Pass, however, I am going to go and visit it because it does look really great. It's a very sensory based experience, and it looks like it's going to take away all the hustle and bustle in New York, being all busy and everyone trying to race around the city and stuff, and we're going to go into an experience that appears very calming, very tranquil, and the complete opposite to what it's been all day and likely to be tomorrow and Monday. So here's one of the restaurants anyway that you can eat here at Rockefeller Centre. It's not the cheapest by all means. Well, we'll be at Hero in a few moments, so let's go and see what the winter forest of the Northern Lights is like.
Greetings. I'd like to tell you a story. It's a story that begins with light, wanders its way through the eons, and comes down to earth with a touch of the mystic. As the days grow colder and the nights get longer. We have for centuries celebrated this season by getting closer together and by making wishes under the starlight. This season has always been an enchanted one, where wishes and dreams might just come true. From the winter spirits in the Far East, to the woodland elves of the north, to the storm saints of the Southlands, every culture around the globe has a legend of the cold season. A story of magic within the winter forest. Here today, within this mystic place, you are invited to craft your own story by making a winter wish. Explore this space, frolic in the snow, wander through our musical landscape, and when you hear this sound, turn to the person closest to you and share a winter wish with them. You can wish for whatever your heart desires, but you must only share it with the person nearest you. This space is yours to play in, to dream in, and to wonder. Welcome to the winter forest of the Northern Lights. The latest experience from Hero.
In the northern lands, there are myths of forest gnomes, of fairies and fae folk. These reflection pools offer an invitation to reflect on the magic that is all around you. My kids would absolutely love this experience. It's very sensory based, very light, very touch, and my boys would absolutely love it, and they could spend hours literally in here.
Turn to the person closest to you and share a room to wish with them. You can wish for whatever your heart desires, but you must only share it with the person nearest you.
As I walk around the outside, this does look really, really calming and tranquil. I'm going to see when one of the beds become free, and I'm going to hop on one of them so I can test the experience out, because they look mega, mega comfy. They really do.
Take a moment to wander here and allow yourself to get lost within this space. As you make your way through our maze,
This feels absolutely great. It's so relaxing, I could probably fall asleep here, so I better be careful.
Right over here. And there's also that I need a highlight right over there. I know it's kind of getting scary. Okay, let's go. Hold on. But then, can you tell me where you are? Okay, let's go under.
turn to the person closest to you and share a room to wish with them. You can wish for whatever your heart desires, but you must only share it with the person
I think that attraction was designed to be in there for about 20 minutes, half an hour, but I think I spent about 2.5 hours in there. That was just so relaxing and so peaceful, and it was a good way to unwind and really get ready to finish the night off here in New York. I've done a bit of shopping at FAO Schwarz for the boys, and I'll probably go back tomorrow on Monday to get a couple of the bits, and I've got a few of the bits I got while I was around. So I think what I'll probably do is nip back to the hotel, because it's only 5-10 minutes, drop my stuff off, and then back out. With any luck, Madame Tussauds will be open because it's going a little bit chilly, so it's a good place to go. It's indoor, and then it frees up time tomorrow. Joe's Pizza looks very popular, however, Here Be Bar on YouTube says it's not that great, it's just popular with two. While I was at the hotel, I checked the price online for the Book of Mormon. It was a bit cheaper on the Book of Mormon's website than it was at TKTS at Times Square earlier. The discount was a little bit less at TKTS. But anyway, I have booked a seat in the stalls for tomorrow night's performance on Sunday of the Book of Mormon on Broadway. So I genuinely look forward to watching that show. It is belly laughing, and if you ever get a chance to see it, be sure to check it out. It's a great show. It's touring the UK later this year. I'm due to see it in September in Liverpool, and again, I can't wait. It's an amazing show. But anyway, let's make our way to Madame Tussauds, and we'll go and check out all the waxworks. After I've done Madame Tussauds, I intend grabbing a bite to eat. Nothing major, nothing fancy, nothing restaurant style. Just grab something on the go, and then maybe do one of these double-decker bus tours around New York. I think they last about 90 minutes. I could do it in the daytime, but the weather wasn't that great in the daytime, and more attractions are open in the day than in the night. So as this is a standalone attraction that I'll probably pay for, I'll do it tonight and get a tour around New York. It might be freezing at the end of it, but it's one of them things that you don't get if you don't do it. So we'll do a bus tour a bit later, and I'll be sure to share that as well. Have you done a bus tour, or have you seen the Book of Mormon and done Madame Tussauds? Be sure to tell me in the comments below. During my brief stop at the hotel, while I was making a drink, I did take a look at the weather for the rest of the night and into the rest of the weekend. Tonight the weather's meant to remain dry. It's going to be chilly, but it's going to remain dry. Tomorrow's going to be very wet and very cloudy, so the chances are any outdoor attractions won't be possible tomorrow. The Interpretive Museum, that seems pointless. There is a couple of bits indoor, but my main focus on the outdoors, so I think I might not get a chance to do that. Maybe Monday morning, if I'm up early and ready to go, I might get a chance to do it if the weather's on my side. But it does show up maybe bits of rain, so we won't know yet. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is I plan to do Top of the Rock tomorrow. Visibility won't be fantastic tomorrow, so if I go to Top of the Rock, I'll go up about lunchtime, mid-afternoon, when visibility is going to be very poor. I'll show them my Go City Pass, and what they will do is they'll give me a ticket, which may well be post-dated for Monday. Looking at the weather, Monday's not fantastic, but it's miles better than tomorrow. There'll still be some cloud around, and it might be a bit more drier on Monday than what it is tomorrow. So I'm hoping that I can get a post-dated ticket for Monday, and I'll do that before I head to JFK. If I do have enough time, then I'll try and fit the Interpretive Museum in, but that will come down to what visibility is like. because I want to really record it and get some pictures of the Interpretive Museum, given that they've also got a big Concorde with the British Airways livery on it. However, that's only be possible if the weather's right. If I don't manage to do it, I'm sure we'll be back in New York at a later date, and I'll plan to do it then. So as we continue anyway towards Times Square, I'm going to nip into some of the gift shops along the way, look for any gifts I need for friends and family, and then I'm going to look to grab a bite to eat, as I said before, and then go and do a form of bus tour around New York. Now, sadly, on the left here, you are seeing people that are living on the streets with a number of black bags and stuff, and they've got children, and this is a sad scene that you are seeing right across New York around Times Square. They have shelters here, but people only qualify for the shelter for 30 days if you're single or 60 days if you're a family, and then you're out on the street again. There's no form of proper support here in New York to support these people and get them on the straight and narrow. They kept saying they're going to do it, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. It's a shame what the people in New York are going through. The prices are rising faster than anything, like they are around the world, but in New York things are really expensive, and the way the multiplier works where you rent, when you look to rent an apartment, they're only really accessible to people on very, very high salaries. Otherwise, you pretty much got a bed set for maybe $2,000 or $3,000 a month. I've now been in New York now for 24 hours. I walked through New York last night when I got off at Penn Station and down to my hotel via Times Square. And I've been out from about 7 o'clock this morning, and I'll be out for the rest of the night. Probably get back, I would have thought maybe midnight, 1 a.m, something around that kind of time. And one thing that became very prominent during my walking around New York, whether it be up Times Square or some of the streets away from Times Square, is how much homelessness there is in New York. It's very sad to see. I'm very surprised at the levels of homelessness, but at the same time, I'm also seeing that there's less police around everywhere. When I first came to New York 10 years ago, everywhere you turned there was a police officer, and it felt a lot safer walking around New York than it did back home in London, Manchester, Liverpool, Birmingham. However, it's got to a point, from what I've seen so far, and I might be mistaken, there are very little police officers around Times Square. They do have people that patrol around, but I don't think it's feeling the same way it did before. It's still a nice city, and I do like New York, but it's a much of a different city from the last time I was here prior to COVID in 2017. I do find that there are quite a few different changes around here, and it's clear to see. The food vans smell good, but as I said before, just be mindful that double checking the prices before you buy anything, because although all the food vans look the same, each van's got its own pricing, and you might pay $2 for something on one food van, and the one down the road or even just across the street might be charging $8 or $10. So it's always worth checking the prices before you order, as you might be quite surprised when you order and you get a very high priced cost that you wasn't expecting. Well, over here we've got Madame Tussauds across the street, so I'm going to go nip in there and do a tour around it. I've never done the Waxworks Museum before, but I'm keen to see how good it is. Have you visited any of the Madame Tussauds around the world? Be sure to tell me in the comments what you thought of it, and what waxworks did they have on display. I'm not familiar with what they have everywhere, because as I said, I've not been in it, but I'm keen to check it out anyway tonight and see what it's like. So I'll be carrying vlogging as we go through Madame Tussauds, show you what it's like, share that with you, and along the way hopefully I'll get some pictures with some stars I might recognise. I would like to think that they would have something for Broadway, given how big Broadway is here in New York. Maybe a couple of shows there or something I might recognise. You never know, I might even see the Lord himself, Andrew Lloyd Webber, one of the best composers of our generation. The guy is magnificent at what he creates. I think some of the shows that I've seen that he created are some of my favourites. I've seen Joseph a number of times, Phantom of the Opera, Love Never Dies. Admittedly, the Australian version was much better than the original one, but Andrew Lloyd Webber was unwell when the original started the London previews, and it did get changed later, which was much, much better. However, I don't think this Madame Tussauds looks like it's open from what I can see, sadly, so we might have to change my plans for this evening. That is something you hear quite often in New York constantly, is sirens going left, right and centre. It's a common occurrence you hear throughout the day and throughout the evening, and something that really does surprise me is sometimes when the police or an ambulance try to get through, no one will move out of the way. the drivers are just like, well, no way, we're set out lights, we're not moving out the way for you. And it's not very courteous. You could have someone that is having a heart attack in the back of an ambulance, and they could be moments away from death, and they want to get into the emergency room as quick as they can because they can treat them better in the emergency room than they can in the back of an ambulance. But many of these drivers don't move out the way. I've seen that a couple of times today, and it's absolutely disgusting. You never know who's in the back of an ambulance, and you should move out the way. But over here, it doesn't look like it's something they tend to really do, and it's not surprising that it increases the ambulance wait times. But anyway, back to Andrew Lloyd Webber, another show that I have seen of Andrew Lloyd Webber. I was a bit unsure for a number of years whether I wanted to watch it or not, was Jesus Christ Superstar. Andrew Lloyd Webber was doing the talent shows back on TV a number of years ago. He'd done them all on BBC except for Superstar, which went on to ITV1. And I was a bit unsure whether it'd be a bit too religious or not. And then as the programme was carried on, you got to see more of the show. And then Ben Foster won the show, and over the coming months there was Ben Foster, Mel C and Chris Moyles all promoting the show, singing various songs from it on various programmes on ITV and BBC, and it got me in the mood of going to see it. I planned to go and see it, and then I couldn't get tickets for it. Once it came out on digital, I bought it, downloaded it, and I watched it several times since. I think the cast is absolutely amazing. And there we have it, the Book of Mormon Theatre. I'm back here tomorrow to watch the Book of Mormon on Broadway, and I honestly can't wait. I absolutely love the show, and I look forward to watching it tomorrow and belly laughing my way through around 2 and a bit hours. It just gets you up there, and I can imagine that after I come out the show, giving it away in New York, I'm excited, and that's just going to get me more and more hyperactive. So I'm going to be bouncing around tomorrow night, and I'm going to be having a lot of fun. I'm sure there's every chance I'll just carry on bouncing around, singing the music from the Book of Mormon, because I spent quite a bit of my day doing that once. I got the idea, right, I was back and forth, do I book a ticket or not, and then it was right, okay, book it, I'll think about it, and then everywhere I looked, all I kept seeing was signs for the Book of Mormon, and all I kept doing was bursting out in song and walking along the road going, hello, my name is Elder Martin, and I am here to have some fun in New York City, and various other things, and it's kept me amused all day. I'm funny really because I can actually amuse myself, and I'm here in New York myself, I'm keeping myself amused, and it keeps me going, and I absolutely love it. I amaze myself at times at what I actually come up with. Anyway, enough about my singing. Next job now is to go and get a bite to eat. I kept saying I was going to get a bite to eat, and every time I go to, I end up getting distracted by something else. So this needs to be my thing now, is to go ahead and get a bite to eat, and then I'm going to look to do one of these New York bus tours. So I'm just trying to decide what to have. I had pizza this morning at breakfast time, and I've had other things throughout the day. I'm just not sure what I want. I might go and nip to Burger King and have a chicken burger, or if I come across something else along the way. I'm not wanting a McDonald's. I don't mind McDonald's, I'm just not a big fan of McDonald's because the burgers are always cold, or they're always wrong, or you get your fries cold. You can never just have a fantastic hot meal. It's very rare it happens, and even though I order my burger fresh, it never comes hot, and especially when you're here in America. The UK McDonald's is... Excuse me, what time does the bus tour run till?
Is it?
What time does it run till?
The last one is 10 midnight. So
where does it go from?
You can get your ticket now. I give you reservation for you. You pick the time you like by yourself. So you pick up right here.
I bought one of the bus tickets, and here I am on the upstairs of the double deck bus. Well, that's my 6th battery about to die for my GoPro, so I'm going to have to end recordings here, and that's a great time to wrap up Saturday's vlog here in New York. So do be sure to check out for Sunday's vlog, which will be coming very shortly, and then my travel home day. I do have other vlogs coming up later in the year, right across America and beyond, so be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification, and then you'll be notified the next time I upload a new video, either of my trips or of a family video. If you do like this video, please hit the like, and if you can, please share this video with anyone you know who may like it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.